At 65, Ian Baker-Finch lives a lonely life, and now his wife just revealed why. But how does a major champion become the most fragile man in golf? And why did his breakdown make headlines around the world? In 1991, Ian Baker-Finch stood on top of the golf world. He had just won the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale with closing rounds of 64 and 66, a two-stroke victory that launched him to number 10 in the world rankings. He was 31 years old and had his whole career ahead of him, but that triumph became his curse. Baker-Finch later admitted that winning the Claret Jug clouded his mind with unrealistic expectations. He felt overwhelming pressure to constantly perform at that elite level. He believed he had to play like that all the time. This wasn't just confidence. This was a mental trap that would destroy everything he had built. The decline wasn't immediate. In 1992, he finished tied for 6th at the Masters and was runner-up at the Players' Championship. But something was changing inside his head. From 1994 onwards, his form began a steep fall. He started missing cuts by a single shot, over and over again. He called it just mental. What Baker-Finch experienced wasn't ordinary pressure. He developed a condition called the yips, but not in putting like most golfers. His yips affected his full swing, or especially his tee shots. He could hit flawless shots on the practice range, but snap hook drives in tournaments. The trigger was always the same: out-of-bounds stakes down the left side of the fairway. He described it as a profound fear, not a physical spasm. Every time he saw those stakes, panic would set in. He would fear the shot before he even took it. The fear crept in gradually, then reached a point where he couldn't get over it or past it. His mind was working against him. The contrast between practice and competition became stark. He could shoot 66 on Wednesday in the Pro-Am, and then 76 on Thursday in the tournament. He would hit 50 perfect drives on the range, then snap hook it off the first tee. This disconnect proved his issues weren't technical swing flaws, but deeply rooted psychological barriers. The 1995 Open Championship at St. Andrews became a public nightmare. Paired with golf legend Arnold Palmer, who was playing his final Open, Baker-Finch snap-hooked his first drive out of bounds. This happened on the first hole of St. Andrews, famous for having one of the widest fairways in golf. The media called it the worst tee shot ever seen at the Open. Despite his explanations about when and his hat coming off, the public saw only a champion's inexplicable collapse. But the real breaking point came 2 years later. At the 1997 Open Championship at Royal Troon, Baker-Finch shot a disastrous 92 in the first round. He had traveled to the event with no intention of playing, having just returned from injury. Friends persuaded him to compete. It was a mistake he would never forget. After that catastrophic round, he withdrew from the tournament. In the locker room, he broke down completely. He cried and collapsed in the fetal position from despair. "I was like, I can't do this. I'm not going to put myself through this again," he said. This moment became his fork in the road, the definitive turning point that ended his competitive career. His wife, Jenny, watched him suffer through it all. She revealed how the mental torture affected their entire family. Ian would disappear into his room, obviously upset with himself. She consciously avoided asking, "How do you feel?" because she knew the answer would be painful. Their children became sorry when he came home early from tournaments, knowing it meant another missed cut. The man who once conquered golf's biggest stage had become a prisoner of his own mind. The public nature of his struggles made everything worse. Baker-Finch felt like a sideshow. Reporters followed him around just to see when he would have his next blow-up. He felt harassed by the press, who would continually crowd in on him. The media put him on a death watch, waiting for his next disaster. Meanwhile, thousands of people tried to help. He received 4,000 letters filled with advice. Some even sent flaming rocks with golf tips. While well-intentioned, this overwhelming input made recovery harder. Baker-Finch was too nice to dismiss the advice, which drained his already depleted mental resources. At first, he tried to fix the problem physically. He attempted to remodel his swing and hit at least 100 drives a day, every day. This excessive practice led to shoulder problems. He sought guidance from almost every top-level coach available. Nothing worked because the problem wasn't technical. With hindsight, he realized his struggles were largely mental. It wasn't just a matter of, "I've got to get fitter, stronger, this or that. It was just totally mental, he said. He tried meditation and consulted numerous professionals, but the mental block remained. The constant public attention made it impossible for him to keep playing. The pressure of performing under such scrutiny amplified his internal struggles. What started as a fear of one specific shot pattern became a complete breakdown of confidence. The man who once shot 64 in the final round of a major championship couldn't trust himself to hit a simple drive. His psychological state deteriorated to the point where he admitted becoming a little depressed during this period. The combination of public humiliation, family strain, and inability to solve his mental block created a perfect storm of anguish. He felt bad about himself that he couldn't get over it. The situation became demeaning and embarrassing. But Ian Baker-Finch's story doesn't end with that collapse at Royal Troon. Unlike many athletes whose careers end abruptly and painfully, he made an immediate and seamless transition into broadcasting. In 2007, he joined the CBS Sports Golf team as an analyst, building on over a decade of prior experience with ABC, ESPN, and TNT. This new career path gave him what he calls a crucial Plan B. It allowed him to stay deeply connected to the sport he loves while using his extensive knowledge and unique perspective. His broadcasting success transcended just finding another job. It represented a complete redefinition of success and personal purpose. Baker-Finch also diversified into golf course design and management. He designed the Woodlands course at Bintan Lagoon Resort in 1996. This creative work let him express his passion for golf in a different way, contributing to the physical landscape and strategic challenges of the sport. His continued respect within the golf community is evident in his leadership roles. He served as team leader for the Australian men's and women's golf teams at the 2016 Rio Olympics and the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. He also worked multiple terms as vice captain or assistant captain for the International President's Cup team. More than 2 decades after his playing struggles, Baker-Finch has gained profound perspective. He's now rightfully content and expresses pride in how he navigated his adversity. He reflects that his own golf game has improved dramatically since retiring. This improvement came from the release of tension from his body, allowing him to genuinely enjoy the game again. Most importantly, he transformed his personal experience into a platform for advocacy. He became a vocal proponent for mental health awareness in golf. He actively works to create the support network he never had for other athletes. His authorized biography, Ian Baker-Finch to Hell and Back, explores the circumstances of his decline and provides answers to the question that haunted golf for years. Through his story, he teaches about resilience and the importance of seeking help during our darkest moments. He embodies the belief that failure doesn't define a person and that purpose can emerge from pain. His willingness to share his struggles publicly has helped destigmatize mental health issues in elite sports. During his competitive era, mental struggles were often shrouded in secrecy and perceived as weaknesses. His openness represents a positive shift toward greater acceptance and understanding of psychological well-being in athletics. This change moves beyond the traditional tough-it-out mentality often expected of champions. Baker-Finch's development of multiple identities beyond playing provided crucial psychological protection. His foresight in cultivating broadcasting skills and golf knowledge created not just financial security, but vital purpose and self-worth when his playing career ended unexpectedly. Today, Baker-Finch's legacy extends far beyond his Open Championship victory. His candid reflections on his past struggles and his active advocacy for mental health awareness are powerful examples of growth after trauma. He effectively transformed profound personal pain and public humiliation into a platform for positive change within the sport. His story proves that significant setbacks, when met with resilience and self-reflection, can lead to deeper understanding and enhanced empathy. Baker-Finch stands as living proof that a career can have second acts, that failure doesn't inherently define a person, and that profound purpose can emerge from even the deepest pain. The man who once couldn't hit a drive without fear now provides commentary for golf's biggest moments. The champion who collapsed in a locker room now helps other athletes through their darkest times. Ian Baker-Finch's career fell apart in public, but what he built after, that's what made him truly great.